Welcome into the Picks, presented by Dick's Sporting Goods, your guide to the Texas high school football weekend. My name is Greg Tepper of Dave Campbell's Texas Football and TexasFootball.com. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we're back. In fact, many people are saying we've never been more back. This is the most back anyone has ever been because Texas high school football is here, baby. There are more than 740 Texas high school football games scattered across the state in week one. It is truly the most wonderful time of the year. We've slogged through the long off season just waiting to get to this moment, and finally it has arrived. And the 2026 Texas high school football season is going to look very different from the 2025 season for a lot of different reasons. Realignment, new coaches, players in new places, all sorts of changes. And we're going to be following along with it every step of the way here at Dave Campbell's Texas Football. It is an exciting time of year. We've been waiting all year for it. Why wait any longer? Big games everywhere you look. We start in Prairie View. 7 o'clock Friday night at Panther Stadium in Prairie View on the campus of Prairie View A&M. It is a showdown of 5A powers as the South Oak Cliff Golden Bears take on the Richmond Randle Lions. What are the keys to this matchup? Key number one, the showstopper. Let's talk about Landon Williams-Callis, the outstanding senior running back for the Randle Lions. At this point, he needs no introduction. He's the first solo high school football player to appear on a cover of Dave Campbell's Texas Football since 2000 when Cedric Benson was on the cover. He is a five-star prospect, undeniable, a Texas commit, and one of the most electrifying players in Texas high school football. Hard stop. He's also got a shot with a huge year of becoming the state's all-time leading rusher. Now, he'd have to have the year of his life, but certainly he is capable of doing it. He has gotten better every single year that we have watched him, and I know that all eyes are going to be on him in this game. Can he show out on this big stage, or will South Oak Cliff bottle him up? Key number two, Death Row Reloaded. Let's talk about South Oak Cliff, the reigning 5A Division II state champs, and specifically, let's talk about the Golden Bears defense, the Death Row defense, which has been the real heartbeat of this program, which has made 5 consecutive state championship games. Now, they only bring back 4 starters from last year's title team, but a lot of key pieces, including Jadarian Jones up front, their defensive tackle, Isaiah Udom in the secondary. They have got playmakers all over the field. They do have a new face on the sideline as well. Defensive coordinator Dominic Spencer is the new man in charge after Kyle Ward, the longtime defensive coordinator, got a job on the SMU staff. So there are going to be changes on this Death Row defense. What do they look like in week one? And key number 3, rubber match. If you're thinking, it feels like we just saw this game, it is because we just saw this game. In fact, this is the 3rd time in 20 months that these two teams are going to square off against each other after playing in the 2024 and 2025 5A Division II state championship games. In 2024, Randle announced themselves on the statewide stage with an instant classic win over South Oak Cliff. In 2025, South Oak Cliff got their lick back, knocking off Randle en route to another championship. And this is the rubber match, meeting in a non-district setting here in week one. Now, there's no chance that these two teams can play in a state championship, right? Because Randle is moving up to 5A Division I in this alignment, while South Oak Cliff starts the year as the #1 team in 5A Division II. So this is a great measuring stick for both of these teams to see where they're at. And yet there's going to be some emotions involved, right? These are two teams that know each other really, really well because they've played for it all against each other twice in the last 20 months. So in week one, with a rubber match pending, which team steps up? Who am I picking? I'm going with South Oak Cliff. The defending state champs get the nod here on the strength of something we haven't talked about, which is their offense, right? I really like the way this offense is coming along, especially on their offensive line with Brian Swanson and a known commodity at quarterback in Jaden Williams, which is something we haven't been able to say for quite a while here for South Oak Cliff. The last time they felt this good about their quarterback was probably when they had Kevin Jennings in 2021. We didn't know how good he was going to be then. They certainly did. We know how good Jaden Williams is after leading them to a state championship last year. Now for Randle, they will have the single most electrifying player in this game in Landon Williams-Callis. This guy is unbelievable. If you've never seen him, go get a ticket right now. This guy is spectacular. The question for me is twofold. One, what does the Randle defense look like, especially up front? They've had a history of putting out big hog mollies in the defensive line. Can they come up with a couple of more? And secondly, what is the secondary option offensively for Randle? If South Oak Cliff bottles up Landon Williams-Callis, which they really did in the state championship game last year, then what is their second option? That's the question for me. I think this is a whale of a game, and I'm really glad they're playing it. Two coaches that want to test their team's mettle early in the season. For now, I give South Oak Cliff the nod. Give me the Golden Bears. 7 o'clock Friday night at Memorial Stadium in Bay City. It is a big-time matchup of state-ranked powers as the Columbus Cardinals take on the Bay City Black Cats. Columbus starts the year #1 in the Dave Campbell's Texas Football 3A Division I rankings, and for good reason. Absolutely a ton of talent, but this will be a new-look Cardinals team. Yes, Keon Hemphill Woods is back on the offensive line, the 3A cover boy in the magazine. They've got the star Jack Schobel, got the reigning district offensive MVP in the mix, but new quarterback David James, in from Corpus Christi Miller, is going to be the headline here. I want to see how he is able to take to this offense early. Furthermore, this Columbus defense better be ready to go from the word one, because Kamarian Wiggins and company, the outstanding Bay City offense, is going to be one of the most fun offenses in Texas high school football. Excited to see what they do. A couple things in play here. First of all, Bay City is at home. I think that is an advantage for them early in the season. Furthermore, there's a size difference. Columbus is a full 2 divisions smaller than Bay City. This is 4A Division I Bay City against 3A Division I Columbus. I think that size advantage matters here in the early going. I like Bay City in a close one. 7 o'clock Friday night at Sam Vitanza Stadium in Dickinson is a top 15 matchup in Class 6A as the Dickinson Gators welcome in the Fort Bend Ridgepoint Panthers. It is the world premiere of Dave Campbell's Friday Night Football, our game of the week, which you can watch live for free everywhere you consume our content, on our website, on YouTube, on Twitter, on Facebook. We will be streaming this game live. It's our game of the week, Dave Campbell's Friday Night Football. Excited to kick it off with a bang in this one down there in Galveston County. Quarterback Lorenzo Aguirre for Dickinson, I think, is one of the state's foremost signal callers. Excited to see him in person. Also excited to see what this defense looks like for Dickinson. They are loaded for bear, especially up front. Fort Bend Ridgepoint is one of the most talent-laden rosters in Texas, and always are. Consider this. They signed 9 players to FBS letters of intent last year, and our Greg Powers says that they are still one of the most talent-rich programs in Texas. That is saying something. Their quarterback, Braden Bonnick, is an absolute superstar out there. Excited to see what he does, and Brody Barty, their quarterback, back at the controls of this offense after winning the job early last season. What does he look like? This is a really fun game. I'm excited to bring it to you live on Dave Campbell's Friday Night Football, starting at 7 o'clock. Pre-game starting at 6:30. For now, I like the Gators. Give me Dickinson. And 7 o'clock Friday night at Allen Eagle Stadium, it is a clash of titans in the DFW Metroplex as the Allen Eagles take on the Duncanville Panthers. One thing I love about Texas high school football is that history has a way of rhyming. You go back to 2018. That is when Duncanville knocked off Allen in the state semifinal and really announced their arrival as the new program of record in the 6A ranks in the DFW Metroplex. And since then, they've made 6 of the last 8 state championship games, right? Now, keeping in mind this is a week 1 non-district contest, right? Allen certainly has an opportunity to announce themselves as the team that is back on top in the DFW Metroplex, and there's reason to believe that they will. Their sophomore quarterback, Ty Snell, has been a revelation, really showed out state 7-on-7 this summer, and their defense, led by monstrous defensive end Jacoby Wilkerson, is going to be the real deal. For Duncanville and legendary coach Reginald Samples, they have got plenty of playmakers, including Braden Arnold, Trenton Yancey, but they have some holes to fill, including on the defensive line, and we have questions at quarterback. That is something I'm going to be watching very closely in this ball game. Look, whenever these two teams line it up, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be physical. It's going to be really well coached. Excited to see this ball game. I give Allen the edge. Give me the Eagles.
The Picks is brought to you by Dick's Sporting Goods. Don't have time to go to a Dick's store this week? Just go to Dicks.com.
But those are far from the only big games in week 1 of the Texas high school football season. It is so good to be back. Let's get to the lightning round. I like West Sabine over Timpson. Give me Canyon West Plains over defending champ Wall. And out east, a big one. I like Pleasant Grove over Kilgore. I like Longview Pine Tree in a close one over Gilmer. A huge game in the Golden Triangle. I like West Orange Stark over Newton. And I'm going with Brock over Springtown. I like Ingram Tom Moore to take down Hondo. Give me Seminole over Bushland, and Highland Park gets a win over Louisville. I like Robinson over Belleville. It's the Kraut Bowl in week 1. I like Munster over Lindsay. And give me Hampshire Finette in a close one over Lamarck. I like Whitesboro over Wichita Falls City View. Give me Gunner just barely over Sealy. And Hutto kicks off the Casey Walraven era with a win over Harker Heights. I like Albany over Hawley. I'm very high on Sunnyvale this year. I think they get a week 1 win over Paris. And down in the valley, give me Sharyland over McAllen Memorial. I like Cibolo Steel over San Antonio Reagan. Stephenville kicks off their title defense with a win over Midlothian Heritage. It's a big game down near the coast. I like Tidehaven over Ganado. I like Goldthwaite over Junction. Give me Joaquin over Beckville, and a massive game in Houston. Give me Katy over Atascocita. Up in the Panhandle, I like Wellington over Spearman. Staying in the Panhandle, I like Canadian over Panhandle. And down in the Rio Grande Valley, give me La Villa over Santa Rosa. Huge game in Greater Fort Worth. I like North Crowley over Aledo. Give me Malakoff to take down Edgewood. And way out west, I like El Paso Eastlake over El Paso del Valle. I like Shallowater over Childress. George West gets a week 1 win over Refugio. And a great cross-regional matchup here. I like San Antonio Brennan over Vandegrift. I'm very bullish on Laredo United this year. I think they get a win over PSJA North. Era takes down Petrolia, and I'm going with Waco La Vega over Franklin. Abilene starts 1-0 with a win over San Angelo Central. I like Cedar Park to take down A&M Consolidated. And Sinton begins life in 3A with a win over Toloso Midway. It's a must-see private school game of the week. I like Dallas Christian over Fort Worth Christian. Give me Athens to take down Nacogdoches. And I like Pflugerville Weiss to start 1-0 with a win over Round Rock. I'm going with Bremond over Hamilton. Humble Summer Creek gets a win over Alvin Shadow Creek. And I like Odessa Permian with a win over Amarillo Tascosa. I like LaPorte over Fort Bend Crawford. Big game in DeWitt County. I like Cuero over Yoakum. And out in El Paso, I like Americas over Canutillo. Rivalry renewed in the Panhandle. I like Palo Duro to take down Amarillo. Give me Idalou to beat Sweetwater. And Port Neches Groves gets a win over Port Arthur Memorial. Give me Resurgent Brenham over Huntsville. And in our 6-man game of the week, it is a good one. I like Klondike over Strawn. And those are the picks. It's so good to be back because now I get to ask you, what am I wrong about? Which games did I leave out? Leave comments down below. Don't forget that subscribe button. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, instagram.com/Dave Campbell's. And of course, see us at texasfootball.com. Thanks for watching. Enjoy week 1 of the Texas high school football season. Happy holidays. We'll see you.